Yetta, you make me feel so safe.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.
We've created for you free access to over 503 episodes of Life's Inside Track, where we share insider tips, where we share really perspectives on how to live an amazing life and build harmony in your day-to-day. And the great news is you get access to them from the home, from your office, or on the go. So I'm thinking, is it because I make you feel safe, because I'm so strong and I protect you well?
Yeah, that's it.
It sounds like that's not it.
Well, flex your muscles again. Let's see those pipes.
We don't do that.
Oh, okay.
Because they're not that big.
Okay, so no, you make a safe environment for me.
So what you're going to learn on this episode is how can we create a safe environment for other people that are in our midst, even in a really short period of time. And it's actually a strategy, I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, we recently had a friend, not a friend actually, a friend of a friend.
That we'd never met before.
No, come and stay with us for a couple days. And very quickly we were able to go very deep in the conversation, places where she probably never shared about with anybody else. And the reason was a safe environment. And then what happens is the outcome of that is a closeness in relationship. And you can become close to people very, very quickly by having deep conversations because you create a safe environment. Right. For us, it used to be our hot tub. Remember? We said
it was the dome of silence.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And actually, I was talking to somebody the other day. It was actually my daughter. And I said, it would be really good. We have a conversation that we kind of need to have that might be uncomfortable for both of us. And yet I believe it's an important one to have. Why don't we go out into the hot tub? Because it's a dome of silence and it's a safe place and you're relaxed and you're chill. And we did.
How can you be chilled? It was 104 degrees.
Okay. Your attitude is chill.
Okay.
Rather than the temperature being chill. And so it worked. It was beautiful. Nobody got defensive. Nothing got out of line. Now, I would propose that whether we're in the hot tub or not, at this point in our life, we're able to really come up, we've established 3 things that we will be or not be, as the case may be. And so whether we're sitting in a car, or whether we're out on a lawn, or whether we're out skiing, and if there's a conversation, and it could be any conversation, but I find the more intimate or deep conversations has a greater risk, and you've probably found this too, to get off the rails.
And sometimes these 3 things are unspoken. And
you don't have to say them.
Yeah, but the problem is, if you don't say them, sometimes those unspoken rules get broken. They break trust. And then when the trust is broken, the friendship's broken, the openness is broken. And now suddenly people have something to hide, something to protect, something to defend.
Or something to prove.
And maybe even something to fear.
Right. And
So I think after that introduction, people might want to know what these 3 things are. What do you think, Yetta?
Yeah, I think so. So the first one is no repercussions. And no repercussions means a couple of different things. It shows up in a few different ways.
So you're not talking an orchestra with percussions.
No, not
repercussions.
Yeah, no repercussions.
Okay, I got it.
And no repercussions means that what is said is going to remain confidential. It's not going out on Facebook world. It's not even when somebody else says, what's going on with so-and-so, and you know something, you don't share it. Like, you keep it quiet. I've found myself lately saying a lot, I don't really have a lot to say about what you just asked me about. Why don't you check with the person? Call the kids or call whoever they're asking about, because I don't know when I'm going to cross the line. And so I'm better not to even move down the line at all than to cross the line, risk
So
crossing
you want
the
to
line.
avoid that line up at all
I
costs.
just get rid of it. Get rid of the line. So keeping confidentiality. The other piece of no repercussions is sometimes, and maybe this has happened to you, when I've shared something that's meaningful to me, deep and intimate with someone, it's cost me because they've thrown it back in my face at a time I wasn't expecting it.
Oh, but what about in private? And you've said you struggle with something, and then they come back to you in private and say, ooh, I thought maybe that behavior was not what you really wanted to do. Would that be okay?
It would be okay, provided it comes from a center of love, which is actually the third one, which is really the sense of unconditional love. So love me in my brilliance and love me in my ugly. Because sometimes,
speak more about that, because a lot of times people say, love me when I'm struggling, love me when I'm sad, love me when I'm depressed, love me when I'm injured. But, love me in my brilliance. Love me when I have done something spectacular.
Right. Because so often, and maybe this has happened to you too, I'm hoping that I'm not alone in all of these things, that you can relate to these situations in your own life. Because I think it's true, and yet you might not want to admit it out loud, which means somebody hasn't created an environment of safety for you. Because that's, if you don't feel safe, you ain't going to confess any of this stuff. I feel safe on the
air because no one, that listens to us on CHRI has ever used anything I've said against me.
Or on YouTube, for that matter. They haven't come back to hurt you with it.
No, not that I'm aware of anyway, so I feel safe on the air.
Fantastic. And so loving me in my brilliance means not being intimidated by what I've done, but celebrate and acknowledge and appreciate that that was my thing to do, or in my case, for me to celebrate you for your magnificence and not be threatened because it wasn't something I could do. What you did, I can't do.
So you're saying the brightness of someone's light doesn't diminish you?
No, because we have different.
Actually gives you encouragement to brighten your light.
Right. And so to acknowledge the other person rather than loving them only in the hard stuff, love them in their great stuff.
Okay, so you jumped from 1 to 3, and our listeners are going, What was number 2? I was writing it down. What is number 2? That's where I would be. You skipped 2. It's driving me crazy. What's 2? No judgment.
Which we've talked about in segment A of this same conversation, really, about being seen. Now we're talking about being safe. If I think you're going to judge me, or you think I'm going to judge you in a negative light.
Wait a minute, it gets even worse.
I'm going to judge myself.
Yeah, self-judgment is the ugliest thing.
Because I do know about you. I'm sure you are like me. I'm calling you out right now. That there are times you have said things to yourself that you would never in 1 million years say to another human being.
Or maybe your child.
Yeah, but we're talking about self-judgment right now.
No, but I'm just saying, you might say something to yourself that you would never say to your child. Mm-hmm. And you might even say it about yourself as when you were a child, like thinking that you messed up as a 5-year-old or a 7-year-old, or something traumatic went on, and you judging how you reacted from an adult's perspective, but not from a 5-year-old perspective. So self-judgment. Ugh,
that's the worst.
Makes me shiver.
So what we're going to encourage you to do is find one friend, or be that friend, where you can simply sit in and create this safe environment for yourself and for them. And we are so grateful for the privilege of journeying alongside you in wealth and wisdom.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.